Hi everybody, welcome if you're new. My name is Amanda. This is my journey going from morbidly obese to healthy following a carnivorous journey. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. If you have questions, just put them in the comments. If I don't answer them there, then I'll put them in the next Q&A. The first question's from Lisa. Have I tried intermittent fasting as part of my plan? Just curious. I have done a couple fasts. I tried to do a 72-hour fast. I did not make it 72 hours. I became way too hungry and started daydreaming about food, which was not good. I do intermittent fasting for like a 16 8-hour window. Sometimes it's a 24-hour window. When I eat only once a day, I'll eat like at 3 one day and then 3 the next. As of right now, I eventually do plan on doing a bit more intermittent long-term fasts. However, I am very cautious about doing it because I have a problem with binge eating. I haven't had a binge in 5 months, and I don't want to induce one by putting my body in a position and my mental state that's going to do this and throw me off track. It's not worth it for me to risk that just to get some of the gains I might see from fasting versus this journey taking a little bit longer and maybe not getting all of the benefits, but I'd rather take 98% of the benefit versus doing something that's going to risk it. So in the future, yes, as of right now, I'm just going to keep trekking with what I'm doing. Next, we have Mitalina. She's asking, once I get down to my target weight, am I going to incorporate some foods back into my diet? I don't know. I can say for sure I will at least stay 90% carnivore. The thing is, with autoimmune problems, I might not be able to tolerate any green stuff ever back in my diet. So I haven't really thought that far ahead in that sense. If I can tolerate something, I would definitely consider adding it back. But as I said, with autoimmune, green stuff with lectins, it causes a lot of inflammation. So I'm not super hopeful. It's just kind of a wait and see kind of thing. Next question, Wendy said, my biggest struggle is my teenagers and family not understanding my choice. Did you have issues like that with anyone? Initially, my oldest sister, and honestly, anybody I told, that's why I learned to just keep my mouth shut. As far as family members, I can't really say other than my oldest sister, but then again, she lives across the country from me. I've been very blessed to have family that supports doing this. My brother does carnivore, my brother-in-law, Scott does carnivore with me. So I don't really have any family members, but I think the biggest thing I can suggest, because I kind of just did this with my older sister, is this is my body. It is my choice. If you don't support it, that is your right to have that opinion, but also I have the right to completely ignore that. And if I'm trying to do something to better myself, why are you trying to stop me? And that's just kind of the conversation I had. So I hope that helps. As far as like non-family members, the vegans come at me all the time as of lately. And the funny thing is I make no judgment about what people are gonna eat or not eat or what their diet is. They're them, I'm me. I can't make assumptions about someone else's life. I have not even slipped their shoes on. So, you know, I look at it from that perspective. I think it would really help, or it does with me. Ruth asked if I had a recommendation for a website of pretty much how you'll feel day by day doing carnivore. I don't, but what I can tell you is the first few days, this is my personal experience, were fine. Somewhere around day 3, 4-ish, the thought of eating meat it made me want to vomit. I ended up fasting for almost 48 hours because I just couldn't stand the thought of meat. And my reasoning was, if I was starving and hungry, I actually wouldn't care what I was eating. So I must not be that hungry or mentally hungry enough to get over what I wanted. Then as time progressed, I had another episode a couple weeks later of the same thing. I just didn't want to eat, so I fasted for a little bit. As far as how you're gonna feel, the first, honestly, 2 to 4 weeks, you're gonna feel tired, lethargic, you're gonna feel terrible. I did. I had been eating the standard American diet. My body was used to sugar and carbs, and it takes time for the body to switch from burning gas, which I consider glucose, to something like diesel, which would be fat. And if you're not getting those glucose, if we're not getting or feeding our body that sugar, that carbohydrates, your body doesn't switch over instantly, so you're going to be tired. You're going to have brain fog. You're going to feel fatigued. I remember my first month, I laid down frequently. Sometimes I just had to lay down for 10 minutes in the middle of the day, or, you know, if I was doing some work, I literally just leaned back in the chair and stared at the ceiling for 5 minutes to give myself a break. I didn't worry about exercising. I was already tired enough. Week 4 or 5 or so, the GI upset calmed down for me because that was a big thing the first month. And then around week 5 or 6, I started noticing more and more energy. And by the time I hit 8 weeks, so 2 months in, I felt like I was doing really well. I wasn't having the fatigue moments. My skin was looking better. I was feeling better. And I think, honestly, it is a very individual journey, but that's kind of like guideposts of how you're going to feel over the first 60 days. But again, everybody's different. Some people don't feel bad at all if they were doing keto, but as I say repeatedly, I had cake one day and did carnivore the next, and it was very rapid and it was very harsh on my body. I'm glad I did it. I would probably definitely do it again, but as far as moving around, the version of exercise I did was just trying to do more around the house. When I first started this, a lot of you already know, I was having to use a walker. I had such severe back pain and I couldn't walk more than 2 minutes without getting short of breath and having to sit. I just slowly moved, and within the first 4 weeks or so, about the 4-week mark, I was able to actually stop using my walker. It was a huge moment for me. I still had some back pain with prolonged walking. And when I mean prolonged, I'm talking about 15 minutes. And at that point, then I started paddleboarding right after that. Now, as of today, 5 months in, it's raining right now, but gonna walk the girls, rain or shine. I also got upgraded to 2 dogs. I got Ryu and Rosie, which means right brain gets just the puppies, and it's just me and the old gals. That's okay, because they're the best. I walk the dogs every day, 30 to 40 minutes, with the 2 of them pulling me down the road. No back pain, no walking, no stopping, no resting, and it's wonderful. Beth asked, do I worry about something I eat that I haven't made, that there will be oil or spices used that could set you back? She finds herself worrying about it and love to get my feedback. Not really. I just think about it ahead of time. If we are going to go to a restaurant, I have learned to look at the menu ahead of time. I ask questions while I'm there. As far as things like going to my siblings' house and them cooking, I know what's in it, but I have had things that have had seed oils and stuff in it, and I don't feel, I physically feel bad from it, but I don't feel bad about it. Life is not perfect. I will never be perfect. Have I eaten non-carnivore stuff in the past few months? Yes. Am I going to in the future? Yes. How do I know? Because I'm human and I make mistakes, and that's all we can do is try our best. But the guilt and the shame, it just weighs me down. It is what got me where I am. As far as the spices, I don't worry about it. I pretty much know whatever I'm eating. If I cannot stand MSG, I get very, 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 very ill from eating it, as well as other chemicals like that. I kind of know what I'm eating, so I really don't stress too much. Or I ask the people, hey, what'd you put in it? Can I see the bottle? Something I will add though is it's a bit trial and error too. You know, I did Buffalo Wild Wings chicken wings, and they make me feel terrible. Well, they have MSG in almost every single one of their dry and like saucy sauces. So my next step was, so I said, well, let me try getting the dry rub and seeing how that goes. Doesn't have MSG, great. Well, we made it, and then at home, I got indigestion right after I ate it. Turns out it has 2% seed oil in it. I just baffled my mind. I guess I just completely missed that when I ordered it. So it's trial and error. Don't feel bad about these things. Stuff happens. Don't let yourself feel guilty. Nor, for me, being a tyrant and stressing about every little thing, stress just slows weight loss. It just makes me want to eat bad. So I do the best I can and move forward past it. Nessa has 2 questions. The first one is, do I find one meal a day hard? So, OMAD. No, I don't force myself to do it. Some days I have 2 meals. I literally just listen to my body and eat when I feel hungry and don't eat when I don't. I do not remotely suggest starving yourself or not feeding yourself on this diet. There are a lot of people who probably watch what I eat and think I'm starving myself. I'm not. I literally eat until I'm satiated, not full, and I stop. If I'm peckish or hungry later, then I eat another meal. Do not absolutely skip meals purposely just to try to do 1 meal a day to fast. For me, I have problems with binging, and if I create deficiencies in my body, specifically calorically, that my body isn't willing to tolerate, I'm just going to go back to eating that cake, cookies, and all that stuff because my body is upset about the deficit and the struggle I'm putting it in. Her second question is, do you eat organs and stuff because of being carnivore? I don't. Honestly, I cannot stand the smell of liver, and I'm gonna be honest, I love like meat, but the idea of eating heart and kidney and stuff just, it makes me gag. But I have considered taking, there are supplements. It's just pretty much like dried powder form of liver put in capsules. Those are, I think, a great option for people like me who do not like the taste and have a texture issue, like just swallowing pieces of it. So if you can do it, I know it's really, really, it has a lot of vitamins and nutrients in them. So if you do it and can do it, but if you're like me. Our last question is from Gabriella. Question, to see a doctor or specialist, is it requiring to be injected or tested? Here in BC, they ask that. I'm assuming you're asking about the big C. No. They ask questions about if I've experienced any symptoms when I go to check in. They make us wear masks. Other than that, no, I just ask my primary care. They give me a referral and I just go to the specialist and bam, that's it. But I know in British Columbia, it is very different with insurance because we pay for ours versus in Canada. Depending on the province you live in, from what I understand, you may or may not have to pay a little bit or something. I don't know. It's very different. So I'm not sure exactly the rules and regulations. I know Canada has still some more strict guidelines than us, as well as some other countries. I hope that answered your question. As always, I appreciate you guys so very much. You guys asking these questions actually helps me because I have to think through, and honestly, I can discover why and reasons I hadn't actually realized I would been thinking or doing. So I appreciate you again. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Always have a Sadie visitor.
It doesn't matter.
It's Sadie now.
It's Sadie now.
How funny. Didn't you have enough water upstairs? You hardly even drank anything. You just had to interrupt. You hardly had 3 sips of water.
I'm a hardtail legs. Province.
Depending on the province, province.